I don't want to really give people nightmares. So if they're seeing me once, they don't need to see me on camera either. That they don't need to see me twice. So I'm gonna read something to you. I got this about 2 days ago, and it's amazing. And it says, "You will find a larger stage to shine on this week." And I did a call a couple nights ago. We had just under 200 people. Right now we have over 300 people. So the moral of the story is, everybody read your fortune cookies, because I got this from Panda and it came true 2 days later. So if you're not paying attention to fortune cookies, pay attention. Very, very important. So moving on to that, mindset. I talk about this a lot because honestly, everybody, mindset is everything. And it's not just business. If you want to be successful in life, you've got to learn to get out of your own way. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories tonight, share some personal stories that I don't share very often. My son came to me about a year and a half ago, and he and I have, we're really good friends, obviously, father, son, things of that sort. And I grew up wrestling, basketball, just really athletic stuff like that. And he came to me and he said, "Dad," because I've been strength training him for a while, and he wanted to try out for wrestling. And instead of saying what some parents say, I'll say, "Okay, go out, do your best, do great, hope you win, blah, blah, blah." This is what I told him. I said, "You go out there, you work out," and I said, "I'm telling you, it's a tough sport you got to put in. It will challenge you mentally, it'll challenge you physically. It is a tough sport." And I looked at him right in the eyes and I said, "Expect to get your butt kicked for the first year or two. I mean, to lose and lose again and lose again and again and again and again." What a pep talk, right? It's like, "What the heck, Dad? That's not." I said, "No, you don't understand. Lose and lose often, because you're going to." And I said, "And that's okay, because the kids you're wrestling against, you came to me at age 15 and asked me. They've been doing this since they were 5 years old, 6 years old. You're going to lose a lot of matches. But if you stick with it and you fight and you fight and you fight, by year 2, year 3, you're going to win a lot more matches." And that's life, right? That is exactly how it works. This is no different. Any business opportunity, any decision you make, anything you do in life, fell and fell often, then fell forward. And if you do not have that mentality, you will fail, but you'll never fail forward, meaning you'll never progress from the failure. You'll never get better because you're not mentally there. You've got to prepare your mind to fail. Failure is a very, very healthy, and it's a good thing, because it helps you become better and it helps you with your drive and everything. As long as you don't allow it, you learn. It's a teaching lesson every time that happens. So get used to being disappointed. Get used to disappointment. Get used to being uncomfortable, because that's good. I can tell you right now, I tease with my friends all the time. It was funny. Somebody came to me the other day saying they were talking to a friend, and I was just really busy on the phone. Someone came in over, so I didn't talk. And I said, "Is John shy?" And my friend just started laughing. "John, are you kidding me? Is he shy?" Obviously, you haven't met John. Well, I can tell you what. Growing up, I was incredibly shy. I was very, very shy, to the point where I couldn't talk to anybody. I would sweat bullets if I tried to talk to anybody, unless I had to warm up to a person. It took me a long, long time. I had to overcome the fear of talking to people. I had to do that. And it was years. It wasn't until I was about 21 years old or so when I really started overcoming that fear. And when I was younger, I didn't think I ever would. I always thought, I felt down on myself all the time. I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I didn't have any of that stuff. But as I got older and older, I used to wake up in the morning, and this is what I would tell myself. I would say, I'd see people on TV, and I'd see people in my own life, people I knew that had success. Somebody would have a swimming pool, or they'd have a nice house, or whatever it may be. And I kept telling myself, I said, well, I guess I could do that because he or she did that. If one other person on the planet can do it, why can't I? What makes them better than me? What makes them smarter? What makes them more successful than me? What do they have that I don't? And I used to I'd ask myself that every single day. Then I finally made the choice to become an entrepreneur. And I did that a little over 20 years ago. And I'm going to tell you something tonight. And I really want you to think about this very carefully. I made that choice 20 years ago to be an entrepreneur. I made the choice to become an entrepreneur again when I woke up this morning. And I've made that same choice every single morning I've woke up in the last 20 years. When you make that decision to better yourself, to become an entrepreneur, to be self-employed, whatever you want to call it, that is a daily decision. It's not something you make one time and just move on. Because once you do become an entrepreneur, and there's a road, and you've got to go down the road, and there's obstacles, and you've got to go over, through, around, whatever you have to do to overcome those obstacles. And those obstacles are really, really good, because that's what's going to make you better. And it's going to make you, because it's a journey to become an entrepreneur. It's not going to happen on your first day. It won't. But it will never happen if you don't allow it to happen. Because if I asked everybody this question right now, our network's been around for about 9-10 months or so. And a lot of stuff has happened. They've accomplished a lot of things. And Troy said himself, there's a lot more to do. When we made the decision to enter into our network, or if we're thinking about making that decision, which I highly recommend you do, you come into our network, you're deciding to become that entrepreneur, ask yourself this one question. This company each month is just getting better, better, and better. It's growing, it's evolving. So where is this company going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Then ask yourself this question, where will you be in this company a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Because if you go out there and you follow what Jeremy did, and some of us have done that, Jeremy, and there's been a lot of leaders that work, and it's not just Jeremy, myself, Dave, John, and Ed. There's a lot of tremendous leaders, and they're out there building this map, and they're putting this together. And what's going to happen is a year from now, they'll be better off than they were today. 2 years from now, they'll be better off. But if you quit along that way, you quit anywhere along that path, you won't be any better off than you were today or when you joined a couple months ago. The only way to guarantee complete failure is quitting. That's it. There's one way to completely fail, and that is to quit. When you look at an opportunity that you like this, the one you've got in front of you, where you're sharing savings and you're sharing revenue with companies that have already done the heavy lifting for you, talking about the marketing, the branding, all the stuff that they've done, these multi-million-dollar companies that are willing to share revenue because you're referring people to shop there. All we're doing, I love when I talked to Trent, said we're redirecting shopping. They're no longer shopping here, they're shopping here instead. And that's all they're doing, and you're getting paid for it. And you're right, you're not selling these crazy products, things of that sort. But along the way, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be bruises, you're going to be there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve for all of us. I'm still trying to get better and better and better every single day. I go back, I listen to presentations that I do. My kids will say, gosh, Dad, you like to hear yourself speak. I said, no, that's not it. I'm listening for every time I say, every time I say, I pause, every time I'm always trying to get better because I made a decision that morning to become an entrepreneur again. So I'm always trying to get better. And if you have that mindset, you will always get better. And learn to deal with disappointment. I'll tell you a couple things. Growing up, I remember when I was a young kid, I was shy, but I was really good at sports. And so I made an all-star team. I was all excited. I worked so hard. And I made the soccer all-stars. And the night before, I'm messing around in my neighborhood, and I broke my ankle. So I missed the all-star game. And I was so bummed. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. And my dad said, well, you know what? There's always next year. You know, buck up, suck it up. You'll be fine. There's always next year. Don't get down on yourself. I know you worked for the last 7 months or 6 months, however long it was to get there. There's always next year. And then I remember later on that year, we're playing volleyball. And my team's out there where we were at the game before the championship game. And I jumped up, I spiked it, and I landed on the spotter's foot. I broke my same ankle again, and I missed the championship game that, you know, the next day. Same, pretty much the same thing. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, you know? And my dad, same thing, you know, don't you dare, John, say, woe me. Don't you dare be depressed. Yes, be upset, but you know what? Use this to get push it. You can get there again. You'll get there again. You'll get there again. And I love what my dad used to always teach me. He always did teach me. My mom was the same way. Never give up, ever, ever, ever. I don't care what life puts in your way. Never give up. And these are small things. You know, I've been through a lot of big things too. I'm not going to get into all that tonight. You know, many of us have major things, but it's that never say die attitude. Every successful person I have ever spoken with in my life has a never say die attitude. All of them. And they don't come to me with complaints. They never talk about that. They always talk about a solution for a problem. If they see something that may be problematic, they'll come to me with a solution or potential solution, and we talk about that. Because complaints won't get you anywhere except backwards. They'll put you back several days. Did you wake up this morning? When you woke up, did you decide to become an entrepreneur today? Ask yourself every single day. I want people to do that. Every day, write down, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur, and write it out every day, or stick it somewhere. Today, I will be an entrepreneur. You don't have a boss breathing down your neck. You don't have all this kind of stuff. So you've got to go out. You've got to do what you need to do. How bad do you want it? Do you want your 3 people? Do you want your 10 people? We can all do it. And there's numerous ways to do it. There's all sorts of trainings and things we provide, but you've got to be a self-starter, because nobody in our network's calling you every 5 minutes of every day because you're not punching in on a time card. Entrepreneurs are self-driven. They're self-motivated. And guess what? They're free because of that. In this day and age, and I'm not talking about all the new stuff, I'm just saying overall, I believe that all of us are here for a purpose. We're all here for a reason. We're all brothers and sisters. We all share this world together. But at the end of the day, we all have a major lesson to learn. And that is, how do we become self-sufficient? Then how do we teach our families to do the same? And I want to be that example to my sons, my daughters, and everybody. How do I become self-sufficient? And I don't have to worry about a job. I don't have to worry about a boss. I don't worry about all that stuff. And to do that, you've got to have that mindset. It is so important. Then you've got to be prepared. I'll share another short story and I'll start wrapping it up, because then I'll leave some time for Dave. Years ago, same thing. I learned the hard way about the importance of preparation. I was in a typing class, and I remember how boring it was. I'm sitting there typing. I learned home row and all that kind of stuff. I'm typing it, and I kept thinking back then, who needs to learn how to type? Well, gosh, I mean, now everybody needs to know how to type. But back then, I didn't think about it. It wasn't as big of a deal. So I slept class. I would just leave class. I wouldn't show up. I go play football. I go do something. I'd play basketball. I was always gone doing something else. I just hated that class. I didn't want to do it. But my dad had a computer at home, so I'd practice on that every once in a while. And so I showed up for the day of the test. And I thought, okay, well, that's cool. I can type 30, 40 words a minute, no problem. And I needed 32 words a minute to ace the test. I thought, okay, that's going to be easy. So I get to the school that morning, and I'm confident as heck, and I missed like the last probably 6, 7 classes. So I didn't hear the announcement. I was not plugged in. What Ed always says, I love what Ed says, plug in. If you're going to do a business, plug in. Same thing with this. I wasn't plugged into my class. I didn't hear the announcement. I didn't realize when I showed up to that class and I went to put my hands on that keyboard, it was covered with a piece of paper. And guess what? I wasn't allowed to uncover it. Well, I never learned how to type without looking at the keys, because when I was at home, I was looking at the keys. So I had that piece of paper all over my hands, and I was sitting there, and I can't tell you what I was thinking, because then they would have to edit it. So I'm not gonna go there. But it wasn't a pleasant thought. Now I was thinking, oh crud, that is not good. And so I'm sitting there typing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one thing. It's the first time in my life that I didn't even spell my name correctly. In fact, I didn't spell anything correctly. I probably typed 30, 40 words a minute. They just weren't legible. I had no clue what they were. In fact, you can bring in any anybody around the world speaking any language. I don't think anybody would have been able to read what I wrote. So instead of that beautiful A I thought I was going to get because I just showed up unprepared, it wasn't exactly an A. Let's just leave it at that. And it did have a big circle. It was just red. And I think it had the 6 A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, the 6th letter of the alphabet is what I got on that. I was unprepared, but it taught me a valuable lesson. No shortcuts. There's no shortcuts in life. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, you're going to get rich in 10 days. No, you're not. You're not. It's going to take a little longer. And you know what? That's okay. But I can tell you right now, with what makes people successful are different things. The system is one. The opportunity. I got up after Richard asked me to become a master member of our network. I remember the first time I got up and I spoke in front of everybody in this room in the hotel. And I looked at everybody and I said, our network owes us one thing. They owe us the opportunity because they told us they'd give us an opportunity. That's all they owe us, nothing else, an opportunity. We owe ourselves the rest. We owe them. We're saying, hey, we're committed to you, you're committing to us. And what are we doing? We're helping you grow your network by inviting people. And you've got so much training. We've got so much experience on this team. There's a lot of things that you can learn and develop. And I'll tell you right now, $50 a month. Think about what you can get at $50 a month. Dinner and a movie, maybe cable TV, something like that. Is cable TV going to change your financial life? Is dinner and a movie one time a month going to change your financial life? Or will it give you a heartburn from the popcorn? What's it going to do? We need to get off this instant gratification and learn to work again. Along the way, some of us, even in society, we've forgotten how to work. Nothing, and I mean nothing, no technology in the world, nothing will ever replace hard work and dedication and the sense of achievement. I'm not doing this just for the money. I can promise you that. And anybody that knows me knows that. It's a sense of accomplishment, the sense of achievement. That's more valuable to me than $10,000 a month or $20,000 or whatever it may be. It's a sense of achievement so then I can look my family in the face and said, I did it, now guess what? You can do it. You now have an example. Do what I just did. It's that sense of achievement, and I'll never get there if I quit, if I give up. So just ask yourself, and again, I'll send it back to you, Dave. Ask yourself a couple questions. First of all, I'll give you a number. Say 3% of the people have made it in an industry like this. They don't have all of this. I believe that the percentages will be much, much higher in our network. But say 3%, and you're in right now. You're one of thousands of people in our network. Let's take 3% of the population in the world right now. That's 210 million people. That's 3%. Out of 7 billion people, 210 million people is 3%. How cool would it be to be in now, being engaged now, and start building a team now, and potentially have who knows how many people are going to enter into this thing. As more products roll out, things of that sort, but you can't look at, oh, well, gosh, only 1 to 3% of the people make it. Well, guess what? That's not just true in network marketing. 1 to 3% of the people make it in a lot of different things. Sometimes the numbers are less because for some reason, the other 97% give up on their dreams somewhere. They quit. If I don't make money in 2-3 months, oh, it's too hard. I quit. I quit. I quit. I quit. Take I quit out of your vocabulary. That's what I'm inviting everybody to do tonight. Take I quit completely out of your vocabulary and replace it with I will. I will do it. I will have success. I will follow some of the leaders. I will learn this. I will get better at this. And I will wake up every stinking morning for the rest of my life and make the decision to be successful. Every single day not once. And with that, Dave, I want to thank everybody for their time tonight, and we will turn it right back to you.